Hey Sagittarius, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your June through July Litha seasons, summer solstice slash winter solstice, depending on where you are in the world, reading here. So I'm going to just jump right into the meditation, as usual. It was an interesting one. So I felt like it was a take on a story that I don't know the etymology of, but there's a story that goes there was someone in a boat. I feel like there's a lot of different versions of this, but there was someone in a boat and the boat started to sink. And this person in the boat was suddenly drowning. And they were waiting for, God to come and save them. And in their mind, God was going to come down from out of the sky and save them, right? And it looked a certain way to them. And so while this boat is drowning, another boat comes up and says, "Hey, you're drowning. Do you want to get my boat? Like, come on." And the drowning person says, "No, I'm waiting for God. God's got me. God's got me." And then someone comes by in, like another boat. It's like, "Hey," he's like, "No, God's got me." And there's several opportunities that come up to save this drowning person, and they say no to each one because they just have a fixed idea in their mind of how they're going to be saved. And so they end up, we can make another version where they end up finally getting the memo and getting on another boat. But I think how it really goes is they end up, drowning. And as they're drowning, they say, "God, why didn't you save me?" And God says, "I sent like three boats, like a plane." I like sent all these different like people to save you, but like you weren't having it. So I do feel like that story, that's a version of it that was coming through in your meditation. But the version that came was that I was at a large body of water. It was nighttime, full moon above. And as I always see a dragon for you guys, there's something more to it. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I always see a dragon to represent Sagittarius energy. I saw this dragon fly up and just dive straight into the water, and I saw this steam come up, and it just became very still. And then I saw this boat come through with this rabbit and this rabbit's family. And the rabbit and their family came up on the shore and they took all their belongings off the boat, and the boat went away. And they were standing there waiting for another boat to arrive because they had like another boat that was going to come. The boat didn't come, but like a car came and said, "Hey, do you need to ride somewhere?" And the rabbit said, "No, we're waiting on this boat." And then a door opened and like the side of this mountain they were standing underneath and said, "Hey, do you want to come this way? Like it's getting cold out there." And the rabbit said, "Nope, I'm waiting for this boat." So it was kind of a similar version of that story. And at certain points, the rabbit's family was like, "My God, come on. Like we can't stay out here all night. It's cold. Like we got kids. Come on." Like, and the rabbit just wouldn't budge. And so ultimately the became morning time again, and the rabbit and their family fell asleep, and when they woke up they saw that the boat still had not arrived. So I do feel like the message around that is to be incredibly open-minded as to what opportunities arise for you during this time or how they come through. It really, really feels like if you have a fixed vision in your mind of how things are going to go for you in whatever area of your life that this concerns, right? Then you're going to be missing out on an opportunity for it to take an even better shape or form. But it's really about how willing are you to be open to how and in what time things manifest. Now, your animal for this season, hello, is the scorpion, right? So, scorpion energy equates to like a five of swords energy, which is about, deceitfulness, also an aspect of us getting in our own way. Scorpion energy is very deep feeling, and yet it's fire energy because it represents transformation and death. So, this is a very intense energy, but I find when scorpion tail is most activated, it's when they're not getting their emotional needs met. So there is, I do feel like, like a bit of advice around making sure that you get your emotional needs met during this time and not looking to others to meet them, but going about it for yourself, right? It's interesting as well because I saw that dragon sort of go down into the water and the steam come up and it didn't come up again. I felt like it was maybe hibernating down there. That this isn't necessarily a time to fly and be breathing, in fire and everything else, but it's really more of a time to sink into the deep sea of how you feel and allow yourself to be a bit introspective about, you know, how much do you trust things to work out for you versus how much do you feel like you have to have both hands on the wheel? It's an interesting one, right? And as humans, we do struggle with that. Now, you're coming through as the high priestess, which I absolutely love. This shows someone who's deeply connected to their intuition. This is about, things that are hidden coming into the light, things that are hidden being revealed. But I love how this is an aspect of inner child work coming in here too, as well as it's depicted with little Alice looking at, future Alice, like cast as the high priestess. The pomegranates here too, they do speak of the underworld and our shadow aspects as well. So I do feel like there's a lot of introspection that's going to be going on during this time. Feeling really introspective, feeling really like you want to think about how things have gone, so that you can sort of possibly recast or reimagine how things might be. We're at the halfway point of the year, right? So this is a really good opportunity to do that. Think about what has happened in the first 6 months of the year, and then what would I like the next 6 months to look? What did I learn from the first six that I would like to apply to the second six? What did I not quite get right, or what did I really excel at that I think I can refocus on something else now? It's a really good opportunity to do that. And so the fact that you're coming in as the high priestess, number 2, at the halfway point of the year, I feel like is incredibly positive. So there's also an aspect of Aquarian energy with this as well, with High Priestess energy, with the number 2. I also feel like there's a certain element of partnerships here that could be incredibly positive for you as well, like healthy partnerships. The 2 heads are better than 1, I'm hearing. It's really interesting. So, in your place of challenge, you have the Knight of Swords. So, this is interesting. Knight of Swords, this is air energy. This is, you get the 5 of Swords energy with the Scorpion here. You've got Aquarius energy, which is an air sign. You've got 2 of Swords here, new place of advice. A lot of swords going on for you. But I do feel like with the Knight of Swords, traditionally speaking, this is about some blunt truths. This is about some realizations that come in either in an unwelcome way or at an unexpected time. But it's kind of like truths or words or realizations that you can't unknow, you can't unhear, right? So they change things. They're words or realizations that change circumstances, that can also change minds. But I also feel like with this unicorn out here as well, that represents the judgment key in the tarot. So that's an energy around, making peace with the past and allowing yourself to have the clean slate that you need to move forward and manifest new and different things, because you've either practiced forgiveness or acceptance in some way. Why do I hear like there's something around needing to reframe the past? There's something in that that's coming through as a challenge. And I feel like with Knight of Swords, reframing some aspect of the past is going to make a huge difference in what you manifest for the second half of the year. Feels incredibly important. Now, in your place of advice, you have the 2 of Swords. This is very similar. This is bringing together your head and your heart for equal conference, right? But in order to do this, there needs to be a willingness and an openness to see what's there. You know what I'm getting, especially with the high priestess, it's a 2 and a 2. When we meditate, we have to take our hands off the steering wheel, or else what's going to come through is us playing projection screen, like us running a projector where the movie in our mind is something that we write and direct and produce and star in. It's not actually coming from our higher self. It's not actually coming from our guides, the universe. It's really just our ego playing a movie for us on the movie screen of our minds. I can't tell you how common that is, but I can tell you that the difference is subtle, and the difference is usually in that your intuition is going to come through with something that your ego would not have thought of on its own. I'm just going to leave that there because I feel like it's different for every person. But I feel like for you, you're really being called to really discern. And I think this could tie in with the Scorpion 5 of Swords as well. What is coming from your intuition, your higher self, the self that knows that you're exactly where you're meant to be and that everything is as it's meant to be, that what is yours will not pass you by, and that you're not meant to hold on to things from the past, but instead enact forgiveness, acceptance, radical compassion, and empathy. What is your ego and what is the higher self? That is what's coming through as your advice during this time. And I feel like it's going to make a huge difference. Oh, look, the sign here says March Hare and Mad Hatter. So March Hare, that rabbit energy that I saw in the meditation as well. Let's talk about rabbit energy. Rabbit medicine is one of those ones where in its light form, it means something very different than in its shadow form. So, light form, it's about fertility, abundance, good fortune, right? In its shadow form, it's about self fulfilling prophecies, worst case scenario thinking that lead to manifesting the worst case scenario because you're putting so much intent and focus on it. So it's really something that is up to you. Again, this is a minor arcana. So you can work with this as you will, right? And you can take this as the opportunity that it is to really connect with yourself long enough and with an openness that allows for you to see things that are there in a form that is actually beneficial for you and stemming from your higher self. It's like that rabbit kept thinking that this other ship was going to come in. And it could not accept that there were other opportunities there because they looked different than how it was expecting. So there's something about that's going to be coming up for you. How open are you to things happening differently or in a different time frame than you would hope or expect or think, right? How much is your ego running the show versus how open are you to let the universe step in and take over the steering wheel? That's what's coming through. So now, in your place of victory, you have the Empress. This could not be better. I love this so, so much. You know, this is a major arcana. You're coming through the High Priestess at number 2. This is number 3. So you've got 2 major arcanas here. Coming through is you and your place of victory, which I really love. So the Empress is about a gestation period. It's about birthing new circumstances. It's about pregnancy, either being pregnant with a new potential for yourself or a new life. There's an aspect of this that says, I'm growing something that I can nurture, and I'm gonna see the seeds, the fruits of my labor. I'm gonna sow these seeds and see the benefit of that fruit, but only if I'm willing to be patient for it and allow for it to occur, with my input, but not under my control. And there's a difference between those two things. And I feel like that's the dance for this time period. See how she's like missing a shoe? See how Alice is like, let me get you together, girl. But she's like, oh, no, I don't like. Like, there's a certain resistance here that I'm picking up on. But the victory, I think, comes with allowing yourself to be helped. There is an aspect of teamwork here, partnership, and also allowing yourself to, be okay with the fact that one shoe doesn't fit exactly like you thought it would. Something in that for you. So, in your place of outcome, it's beautiful because it's you as a fire sign in your feminine form. You are the Queen of Wands. This Queen of Wands for me is well, a lot like the Empress. She's all about creativity, but she's also confident. She is confident enough to allow things to come to her and trust that however things go, she's going to be able to work with it. There's also this energy, even though she does represent the spring, that these sunflowers here, which are very summer, right? So this is really beautiful here. There is this energy of the sun coming through with her that says, being in a position of an outcome says that I am able to claim the confidence that I need to trust that not only will I be able to work with whatever comes to my best benefit, but that I'm exactly where I need to be at all times when I link in with divine direction and not the directives of my ego self, right? When the Queen of Wands is in reversed, or in reversed, when the Queen of Wands is in reverse, she's very demanding. She trusts no one. Her tagline would be like, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself, right? So the fact that this is coming up the outcome says to me there might be some moments during this time where you might experience that shadow energy of feeling like you need to be in control or feeling like you need things to happen a certain way or in a certain time. But if looking at it in an upright way, you're going to have a much easier time of things and stay away from this 5 of Swords getting in your own way energy by allowance, trust. Someone told me once, and I found this to be quite true. She's a therapist that I knew briefly for a time. And she told me that I was talking to her about, patience. And I said, what is your take on patience? How does one achieve patience? And she said, patience is the product of confidence. Because if you are confident in yourself, in your path, then you could be patient. And that has always, I just got shivvies. That has always stuck with me. And I feel like as a fire sign, by the way, I'm a Sagittarius rising. So like woo, and I have what is it called? I always forget in astrology what it's called. A Casmia. Let me know in the comments. But it's where you have it starts with the C. It's where you have a cluster of planets like in a certain sign. I have a lot of Sagittarius energy working for me. So I really do understand like this aspect of patience and timing, and how difficult it can be to temper that passion into something that is constructive, rather than, self-effacing or getting in our own way, right? So I do feel like there's something to that in the outcome where it's like you have the confidence. Like she's not up on the prowl. She is sitting and ready for, her dinner or her blessing, whatever it is, to come to her, right? And the fact that her ribs are showing, I feel like maybe she's been there a little while, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It actually is really beautiful, and I'm really drawn to the color pink and purple as it's being mirrored here. There's a lot of pink and purple here. So it's all about the crown chakra being connected to your intuition, and the pink with the green, which is the heart chakra, steeping into that trust and knowing. And remember, if you have confidence, then you can be patient, right? Confidence. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. What is mine will not pass me by, right? I'm operating in divine timing, all of those things. So in your beautiful oracles here, this is the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle, which I'll be recommending in the newsletter. So, so good. You have two for one here. So your first one is wand making, number 43. I'll hold it up here. With a flick of focus, you will come to see a vision realized. I mean, hello. With a flick of focus, you will come to see a vision realized. How I take that is a flick of focus. I mean, it is kind of like a snap of the wrist, but a flick of focus, I feel like, is being willing to flick that wand and allow yourself to work with the energy as it is. This is about divine flow and energy. This isn't about asserting your will like a magician. No, this is like high priestess, allowing yourself to work with what is for the greatest alchemy. And that's what I feel like the advice is here for you. And it's really beautiful. With a flick of focus, you will come to see a vision realized. See, looking in the mirror, her eyes are covered there with the Two of Swords. There really is about something coming into manifestation for you that feels incredibly positive. Then you have Rewild. I love this so much. So number 29, let your soul's garden grow wild, setting yourself free and allowing mysteries to surprise you. Wow. I didn't read that when I pulled it. Letting mysteries to surprise you. I mean, hello. Let your soul's garden grow wild, setting yourself free and allowing mysteries to surprise you. Does she not look like she's living her best life and just open to however and whatever comes? I'm telling you, like, and I think those are starlings up there. I really feel like for you, the best luck that you're going to have, your way to click in with divine timing, is to really discern what is your ego, what is your highest self, and allow yourself to be surprised and be open to different ways of going about things. Maybe there's something on your list of things to do and you move the last one to the front. Maybe you switch something around. Go with the divine flow. That is how you harness your magic and you temper that natural fire that you have as a Sagittarius to work in your favor, right? There's something about this Sagittarius that could end up with this Empress and Queen of Wands quite magically for you, where you are a magnet and attracting all of these things towards you versus wasting all of this energy running around in circles trying to make things happen in a certain way, right? Release control. Therein lies your magic. That's what it is, okay? Really, really stunning though, Sagittarius. It's really, really beautiful. I feel like what's coming on the other side of this, I'm hearing August, like right after this, would really be a time of great abundance. And really, I'm hearing the word gratitude. I think you're going to have a lot to be grateful for come August. It's really just about working with this time as a blueprint to your best advantage, right? Really, really beautiful. So with that being said, I so hope that this helps and resonates. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing, how you feel about this reading. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I've been back with you guys for a little bit. But now I am back home in my adopted country of the UK. I am visa approved and back to home base with my crow here, my natural setup. So thank you guys so much for your patience and staying with me through my, transitional period here. I really appreciate it. I'll be doing a video soon, just updating you guys and letting you know how all that came to pass, all the good on a new segment of This Is Me. With that being said, just thank you guys as always for being here. And most of all, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.